What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing what type of options should the Chicago Bulls be looking at in terms of the buyout market. Now, I'm not necessarily going to direct this towards any specific player. I will try to give examples along the way, but mainly, I guess, the type of player that we need to go for. What type of talent, what type of player can the Chicago Bulls pursue in the buyout market, and what specific reasons would we need to go and target these players? Now, look, we are not shy of problems with this Bulls team. Yes, we are competitive in pretty much every single game. Yes, we find a way to be in clutch games. We have the most clutch points and the most clutch minutes, whatever the case may be, in the entire league. We have the most overtimes as well. So look, we are a team that fights in the clutch. We are a team that is battling tooth and nail with pretty much every single other person out there, every single other team out there. So maybe that one guy that you could get, if it's the right guy, could take you over the hump. It could really make you, I guess, that team to look forward to in the near future. So let's wait and see if that will be the Bulls and what type of buyouts we'll be talking about. Before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Bulls. And of course, I guess, the buyout options you would give. And of course, if you have any specific guys in mind, because look, we've got a week off, essentially. And I can't promise you every single Bulls video is going to be the most entertaining thing out there when it comes to the week off. So if you have any specific buyout options in mind, feel free to let me know, and I may make a video about them while I'm on holiday, because what else am I supposed to talk about for the Chicago Bulls? But let's get started. First, I actually want to ask you a question, and that is, do the Bulls even need to go and sign someone from the buyout market? I'm genuinely asking this question because I think there is a small possibility that the Bulls do nothing. The Bulls don't sign a buyout option. The Bulls don't necessarily get rid of anybody to sign a buyout option. The Bulls don't waste the money. I truly think that is a possibility for the Bulls to do. Now, is it the smart choice? Well, look, if you're trying to be competitive and you're trying to compete in the Eastern Conference, then no, it's not smart at all. You have to make a signing because, again, we're clearly missing something. But you know, maybe AK believes this current team and everybody in it is actually going to be the go-to for the success in the future or the success this season. I don't know. So look, there's a chance we do nothing. Look, we've already seen some buyout options being taken. Guys like Gallinari has signed with the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm very certain we were interested in Danilo Gallinari. We tried to sign him a couple seasons ago from the Boston Celtics. Then he tore his ACL, unfortunately. And I wouldn't be surprised if we were trying to go after him again and he rejected us again. So keep that in mind. You know, it could be that the players that we want just simply don't want to come to the Chicago Bulls. If it happens to free agency, why can't it happen in the buyout market as well? Maybe the Bulls is just not a favorable destination. Maybe players don't want to go to a 9th-seeded team when they can go to a 1st-seeded team or a 2nd-seeded team like the Milwaukee Bucks. So there's something you've got to keep your eyes on as well. There's no guarantee that even if we want these players, that they want us. So ask that first question. Do the Chicago Bulls actually do any business for the buyout market? And if we do, what type of player are we looking for? Well, you could go down the shooting route. And when you're looking down the shooting route, I guess an example here would be Joe Harris. I don't believe Joe Harris has a team at the moment. A well-respected three-point shooter. Shoots over, I think, over 40% in his career. I don't necessarily think he's shooting 40% this season, but he's a guy that I don't necessarily rate, in all honesty, but could be a well-needed addition to this Bulls team. Again, someone that can shoot the three ball, that's not just simply a catch-and-shoot player or not simply just a guy that you put in the corner and that's all he can be for the Chicago Bulls. So, you know, he could be a guy that can shoot the three in transition like what Javon Carter was pretty much known for this Bulls team. Again, he's a guy that can come off a screen and shoot the ball. But, of course, he doesn't have great defense. And, again, with buyout options, you're not going to get the perfect player, are you? You're going to get someone that's going to have a liability somewhere. Can the Bulls cover up Joe Harris's defensive liabilities and bring his offensive capabilities to the forefront of the Chicago Bulls? That's something you're going to have to work. Again, you're going to have to measure the risks with obviously what it costs as well. But again, if you're going down the shooting route, that could be an option for you. Well, we do need a forward. And I know Gallinari's off the table as well. But if you're looking at the forward positions, you know, maybe a guy like Korkmaz could be an option for the Chicago Bulls, I would say. I believe he's a forward. I believe he has and adds some height to the Chicago Bulls. He brings some depth in that position. But again, you have to measure the risk with what it costs. What it's going to cost if you sign another forward to this Bulls team is the minutes for Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. Now, if you're trying to compete, those might be good sacrifices to make. But knowing this Bulls team and how we're not competing, whether you want to admit it or not, we are not going to be a team that competes for a championship. Would you rather have those minutes be better used elsewhere on the young guys? That's a serious question to ask, and Arturas Karnisovas will have to answer that question himself. So a forward could be the route that we go down. Or do you go down potentially a young, prosperous talent that could end up becoming good enough in the NBA to be a vocal point for a team? Now, I'm talking about a guy like Killian Hayes. Now, I'm sure there's a couple other guys you can mention in here, but I was absolutely stunned to hear the news that Killian Hayes was released from the Detroit Pistons. Now, Detroit Pistons fans are probably very happy with that news, but I'll be honest, man. What was he, the 7th overall pick in the NBA draft? I think it was. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. I'm not too sure, but a very high talented pick. Someone that can defend, someone that can play make, someone that is very inconsistent, but someone that I think has potential to at least be a bench player in the NBA. And the fact that he kind of got, I guess, released like really quickly, it's something to keep an eye on. Maybe the Bulls can find that hidden gem player or that hidden gem talent in Killian Hayes where the Detroit Pistons failed. And again, when you're looking at a point guard like Killian Hayes, who's a very good playmaker and a solid defender, I think he's the type of guy that will work better with better talent. And look, Detroit, they got Cade Cunningham, a talented guy, Ivy, talented guy, Duran, a talented guy. They're all talented players, but they're not more talented than the Bulls players. They're not more talented than DeRozan, Kobe, Vucevic, Levine when he's healthy, and, Lonzo Ball when he's healthy, and Io and all these other guys that the Bulls have. Again, we are clearly the more talented team. Maybe talent and the talent around that point guard in Killian Hayes can help him perform better for the Bulls and actually release some of the pressure that was probably on him for a while now. Maybe it's a possibility. And do you really want to see a young talent like Killian Hayes go to a different team or potentially leave the NBA when there could be potential there? Again, he's always a guy that I've looked at and said it will take him 5 or 6 years. He's not going to have the development like a Luka Doncic had or a Trae Young had, where he's getting 25 and 10 a night at the very beginning of the NBA. It's just not going to happen. And let's be honest, it's a rare sight to see anyone get to that level. I mean, Kobe White, who's been so good for the Bulls, was not a 25 and 10 player when he came into the league. He was maybe a 14 or 16 point per game player off of the bench. And that was good for his first season. Killian Hayes has not proven to be a prolific scorer or a great scorer at all, but I think he has other attributes that this Bulls team could need, especially from the playmaking side of things. I would not mind that whatsoever. And of course, there's a risk to take there, a risk for development. Can the Bulls capitalize on that? We will really have to wait and see. But that's the different type of situations we could be going down here. We could be going down the route of just getting a forward and some size. We could be going down the route to getting just a shooter. Anyone that can shoot 40% from the three-point line, someone that can maybe shoot off the dribble, someone that can maybe bring something different to this Bulls team. Or maybe we go for that young talent that is too good to refuse. A young talent that is simply not there yet, but has potential to get there. And at the bare minimum, could be a bench player for this Bulls team that could come in if someone gets injured, which we know is prone to happen with this Bulls team. I mean, Zach LaVine's got injured. Lonzo Ball's been out for 2 years. There's always going to be a situation where, someone else can get hurt. There's always the next man up mentality. And I would rather have Killian Hayes over Javon Carter. And at this point in time, no disrespect, because there is a little bit of an upside with Killian Hayes, which I just don't see in other guys on this team. So, interesting question, a lot of answers there. What do you guys think? Again, let me know in the comments below your thoughts and, of course, your list of the buyout options that you'd like me to talk about. Keep in mind, some buyout options, again, have already left, like a Gallinari and other guys that we're probably looking at has already joined different teams. So we can't talk about everybody at the end of the day, because day by day, there's going to be new pieces of news coming around. And the harsh reality is, the buyout market can be very quick or very slow for certain teams as well. So we'll wait and see. But that's going to be my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.